Session number 14, the impression of increase. Environment. You are endogenous, meaning you create your own environment from within your own consciousness, your own awareness. A plant is indigenous, meaning it can only flourish in certain environments. You are endogenous. You create your own environment. And when you hold your vision, and when you speak to others from that vision state, that optimistic, affirmative state, you become contagious with this radiant good expressing through you. I want you to have the impression, to be the impression of increase everywhere that you go. When you walk into a room, you're not trying to pick up the vibration, you're not trying to pick up the vibes of anyone. You're delivering the vibration with your conversation, your thought, and holding steadfast to your vision. That environment will glow everywhere that you go. Now, Bob Proctor, he does that. And he's going to share this with you in session 14, the impression of increase.
You know, it's often been said, if you give other people everything they want, they're going to give you everything you want. And Wallace Wattles brings it out beautifully in this particular lesson. He begins by saying, whether you change your vocation or not, you must direct your present actions to the business in which you are presently engaged. You can get into the business you want by making constructive use of the business you're already established in, by doing your daily work in the certain way. And insofar as your business consists in dealing with other people, whether directly, by telephone, or by letter, the key thought of all your efforts must be to convey to their mind the impression of increase. This is such a phenomenal lesson. I frequently in seminars tell people to read this lesson over and over again because we have been raised to focus on ourselves. That's why people are so self-conscious. Their energy's inverted. You've got to direct it out. You want to leave everyone with the impression of increase. Increase is what all men and women are seeking. It is the urge of the formless intelligence within them to seek fuller expression. The essence of you is perfect. The same with me and the same with everyone we meet. The soul is perfect. You are a soul. You don't have one. You are a soul, and the soul is forever seeking its awareness of its oneness with God. Now, the more we become aware of our oneness with the Supreme Intelligence, the more it's reflected in the results we get. Awareness, remember, right in the first session, we talked about awareness. It is the only thing we're ever going to get. The soul wants to become aware of its oneness with Spirit. Now, let me repeat what Wattles said. Increase is what all men and women are seeking. It is the urge of the formless intelligence within them to find fuller expression. If you're selling, you want to sell more. If you're running, you want to run faster. If you're jumping, you want to jump higher. Whatever we're doing, there's something within us that wants to do us bigger and better. Now, that doesn't mean we will, but we do have that urge within. Wattles said the desire for increase is inherent in all nature. It is the fundamental impulse of the universe. All human activities are based on the desire for increase. People are seeking more food, more clothes, better shelter, more luxury, more beauty, more knowledge, more pleasure, more life. Every living thing is under the necessity for continuous advancement. Where increase of life ceases, dissolution and death set in at once. People instinctively know this, and hence they are forever seeking more. The law of perpetual increase is set forth by Jesus in the parable of the talents. Only those who gain more retain any. From him who hath not shall be taken away even that which he hath. The normal desire for increased wealth is not an evil or reprehensible thing. It is simply the desire for a more abundant life. And because it is the deepest instinct of their natures, all men and women are attracted to an individual who can give them more of the means of life. Now, I have mentioned this in a previous session. Money is used for just two things. One, to make you comfortable. And I believe it's important that we become very comfortable. We want to get away from everything that's antagonistic or that takes away from life. Now, that's important. We want to be very comfortable because the more comfortable we are, the more creative we can become. Now, the more creative we become, the more we desire to do greater good in bigger areas, expanded areas. Like we want to build our business. We want to reach further. We're dealing in a global marketplace today. But it takes money to do that. The more money you have, the more people you serve. The more people you serve, the more money you'll have. So you see, money is a medium of exchange that is used to help you do more. Now, Wattles said, in following the certain way, as described in the foregoing lessons, you're getting continuous increase for yourself. And you are giving it to all with whom you deal. You are a creative center from which increase is given off to all. Now be sure of this and convey assurance of this fact to every man, woman, and child with whom you come in contact, no matter how small the transaction, even if it's only selling a stick of candy to a little child. Put into this action the thought of increase and make sure that the customer is impressed with the thought. Do you know what you want to do? You want to love them. Love them. Absolutely love them. Send nothing but love. Love is the most phenomenal energy there is. It doesn't matter what they're doing, just send them love. The Wattles said, convey the impression of advancement with everything you do, so that all people shall receive the impression that you are an advancing person and that you advance all who deal with you. Also give people who you meet socially the thought of increase. You can convey this impression by holding the unshakable faith that you are in the way of increase, and by letting this faith inspire, fill, and permeate every action. Do everything you do in the firm conviction that you are an advancing personality, and that you are giving advancement to everybody. Feel that you're getting rich. Actually feel it. And that in so doing, you are making others rich, that you are conferring benefits on all. The beautiful part of this program that you're involved in, the Secret Science of Getting Rich, we have built into this an opportunity for you to not only get rich yourself, but have everyone you come in contact with to get rich. You're going to have a desire to share this with people. And as you share it, you can be compensated, and so you should be. You're providing service. Money is a reward received for service rendered. How much money do you want to earn? Write it on the top of a sheet of paper, and then just think of how you can do it. You've got the opportunity with this particular program. Now, Wattles said, do not boast or brag of your success or talk about it unnecessarily. True faith is never boastful. Wherever you find a boastful person, you find one who is secretly doubtful and afraid. Simply feel the faith and let it work out in every transaction. Let every act and tone and look express the quiet assurance that you are getting rich, that you are already rich. Words will not be necessary to communicate this feeling to others. They will feel the sense of increase when they are in your presence and will be attracted to you. You must so impress others that they will feel that in associating with you, they will get increase for themselves. See that you give them a use value greater than the cash value you are taking from them. If you always take an honest pride in doing this and let everybody know it, you will always have customers. People will go where they are given increase. And the supreme power, which desires increase in everything and which knows everything, will move toward you, men and women who have never heard of you. Your business will increase rapidly, and you will be surprised at the unexpected benefits which will come to you. you will be able to make larger combinations to secure greater advantages and go on into a more congenial vocation if you desire to do so. However, in doing all this, you must never lose sight of your vision, of what you want, or of your faith and purpose. Let me here give you another word of caution in regard to motives. Beware of the insidious temptation to seek power over other people. Nothing is so pleasant to the unformed or partially developed mind as the exercise of power or domination over others. The desire to rule for selfish gratification has been the curse of the world. For countless ages, kings and lords have drenched the earth with blood in their battles to extend their dominions. They have not been engaged in an effort to seek more life for all, but to get more power for themselves. Today, the main motive in the business and industrial world is the same. People marshal their armies of dollars and lay waste the lives and hearts of millions in the same mad scramble for power over others. Commercial kings, like political kings, are inspired by the lust for power. Look out for the temptation to seek authority, to become a master, to be considered as one who is above the common herd, and to impress others by lavish display. The mind that seeks for mastery over others is the competitive mind, and the competitive mind is not the creative one. In order to master your environment and your destiny, it is not at all necessary that you should rule over your fellows. And indeed, when you fall into the world's struggle for high places, you begin to be conquered by fate and environment, and getting rich becomes a matter of chance and speculation. Beware of the competitive mind. No better statement of the principle of creative action can be formulated than the favorite declaration of the late Golden Rule Jones. He said, "What I want for myself, I want for everybody." It was Lloyd Conant, the co-founder of the Nightingale Conant Corporation, who first put this material in my hands. And that was Lloyd's motto. What I want for myself, I want for everybody. I believe this program had such a profound effect on him that he built a world-class organization, and all he ever wanted to do was help other people. That's the idea he fell in love with. And that's the idea I want to suggest you fall in love with. He helped me fall in love with that idea, and for 38 years, I have had the absolute pleasure of teaching this information all over the world. And I've got to tell you, I am full of gratitude. I am so pleased that I'm able to share this with you. And I want to encourage you to fall in love with the idea of sharing it with others. When you do, that's when you're going to find out you've really got it. What I want for myself, I want for everybody. Now, I want to suggest you think of 3 people who could really benefit from your assistance, and sit down, place their names on a piece of paper, the 3 individuals, and detail your thoughts on how you will help that person within the next 30 days. It's a good exercise. Think of 3 people you know that you really want to help. Write their names on a piece of paper, and below their name, write out how you're going to help them. in the next 30 days. Remember, Northcote Parkinson said, work expands to fill the time allotted for it. If you just put their names down, you might be still going to get around to helping them a year from now. We want you to do it within 30 days. This is Bob Proctor, and thank you.
Hello, this is Jack Canfield. This session goes right to the essence of who we are and what we are, doesn't it? This is one of those lessons I very strongly encourage you to review again and again, a number of times. What we're talking about here is leaving everyone we meet with the impression of increase. This is absolutely vital to the entire chemical element of this science of getting rich. I'm absolutely serious about this. I'd like you to think back to moments in your life when people made a comment to you, even in passing, that just lit up your day. It might have even changed your life. You remember their faces, don't you? And if you knew their names, I bet you still remember their names years later. They saw in you something that was so remarkable to them that they thought they'd share that observation with you. In other words, they left you with the impression of increase. Now, here's an element to the whole secret SGR agent concept we're mentioning here that is vital to your success as one of our so-called agents. It's important that you not only look for the good in everyone, but that you open your mouth and say something. Tell them what you like, love, admire, or appreciate about them. Acknowledge their contribution to you. Better yet, think of how you can help them. Make them feel better because you were there, in that moment, in their lives. Leave them with the impression of increase. My friends Esther and Jerry Hicks told me one day about a wonderful thing they do. At least once a month, they tip a waiter $100. $100 because they have an extraordinary attitude or they received extraordinary service. One time they were in Washington, D.C., and they pulled out the $100 bill and they were tipping the waiter. And the waiter said, "Were you here a month ago?" And they said, "Yeah." "Did you give a $100 tip to a woman waiter?" And they said, "Yes." "That's my girlfriend." And the Hickses commented, I loved it. They said, wouldn't it be perfect that these two people that are so into service and so into up energy that they would attract each other into their life and be boyfriend and girlfriend? But think about what you can do. Maybe it's not $100, maybe it's $20, but do something, at least verbally, that lets people know you value their contribution. As Wallace Wattles said, the impression of increase is what all men and women are seeking. It is the urge of the formless intelligence within them to find fuller expression. The desire for increase is inherent in all nature. It is the fundamental impulse of the universe. All human activities are based on the desire for increase. We are all seeking to be more, do more, and have more. Expansion is the true nature of the universe. People are seeking more food, more clothes, better shelter, more luxury, more beauty, more knowledge, more pleasure. In short, more life. As strange as it might seem, although Mark Victor Hansen and I have sold more than 100 million copies of the Chicken Soup for the Soul books, we still have a desire to sell more. This isn't because we're greedy. We don't need the money. It isn't because we're trying to prove something. We're simply interested in seeing what the increase does to the world. As Bob said, if we're running, we'd want to run faster. If we were jumping, we'd want to jump higher. If we were a salesperson, we'd want to sell more. Now, here's another important point to remember. You are a soul. You don't have a soul. You are one. As Bob says, your soul is forever seeking assurance of its oneness with God. It is always seeking to express itself in a greater way. And that is definitely true for Mark and I. We love the Chicken Soup success, but we want to do it better. We want to do it bigger. We want to do it more creatively. I love my work and I do it well, but I still want to do it better. I once heard someone say, good, better, best. Never let it rest until the good is better and until the better is best. It's a great motto to live by. So take time every day to tell someone about the best you see in them. Not the good, Not the better, just the best. Spend your day in every situation and in every way giving them the impression of increase. You really have no idea the far-reaching ramifications this can and will bring about in the lives of others, and ultimately in yours as well.